Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from the Commander's Core Studio. Welcome to the show. So on today's episode, I'm going to be talking about some cards that may look terrible, but they are secretly extremely underrated. I love this list. Let's jump into it. So let's start things off with Enduring Renewal, and actually a little bit of background on this episode. Essentially, I was looking through some old cards, and I was like, you know what? Outside of like the known old cards, like ones that have been reprinted tons of times, like, Soul Ring, obviously, something like that. Or again, like the Power 9. Yeah, like a lot of old cards just kind of get skipped when it comes to players like looking through cards and deciding what to play, because some players just assume that, oh, it looks old. There's no way, like back then, like we've got power creep, like things have gotten better these days. Well, there are certain cards out there that you are missing, like a gem like Enduring Renewal, which is so incredibly unique and so incredibly powerful. Let's jump into it. And actually, I'm going to utilize Oracle text to make sure I don't mess up this, because, yeah, these cards have also been re-rented, which is also probably a, reason why some players just skip them, because they're like, play with the cards, your hand face up on the table. What? So here we go. All right, so Enduring Renewal is an enchantment for 4 mana in white. Play with your hand revealed. If you would draw a card, reveal the top card of your library instead. If it's a creature card, put it into your graveyard. Otherwise, draw a card. Whenever a creature is put in your grave from the battlefield, return it to your hand. This card is insane. Yeah, you do need a little bit of setup for this, obviously. Like, you don't just want to play it right away without actually thinking, unless you actually really want your creatures in your graveyard from your deck, then sure. But that being said, again, literally, if a creature you control dies, it goes right back to your hand immediately. That is absolutely absurd. A crazy good effect. An effect that just says, hey, you know what? Infinite combo potential written all over it. But you don't even need the infinite combo potential for this to be a good card. Obviously, if you're set up properly, or if you've got, like, maybe a Reanimator style deck, too, like, getting those creatures into your graveyard is actually a good thing, number one. Number two, of course, creatures dying this, come right back into hand. Okay, cool, yeah, I get the effects. I get all these amazing effects. But yeah, definitely some combo potential with this one. Make sure you check it out as a value synergistic strategy for certain decks out there. Let's move on to another enchantment, but one in a different vein with Familiar Ground. An enchantment for 3 mana in green, and it says, each creature you control can't be blocked by more than one creature. Here's the thing. Well, yeah, if you've got a deck that is, all big and stompy and, involves trampling, your opponents are probably going to want to be able to team block those creatures. But you're saying, no, you know what? I'm just going to swing through and essentially ensure that my creatures are not only going to survive in combat, but also I'm going to get damage through again with trample. So yeah, a big stompy deck can obviously utilize a card like this. It's kind of the opposite of Menace, which again, obviously if you have this working with Menace too, it's just all your creatures are unblockable. But yeah, making it so that your creatures are kind of protected in combat, where you can't just get team blocked. It's like, oh, if I have the biggest creatures, you can't stop me. That is just such a green thing, such a cool thing, and again, such an old card that might just get skipped on because it's old. I mean, it's from like 97. How could this be good? No, this card is fantastic. Next up, yet another enchantment that I want to highlight, Tofairs Veil. This card, again, is just kind of weird because it involves a weird mechanic. Enchantment for 2 mana in blue, and it says, whenever a creature you control attacks, it phases out at end of combat, which again means that basically, if it's phased out, it's treated as though it doesn't exist. It phases in before your untap step during your before you untap during your next untap step. Basically, it's like, okay, I'm here, but I'm not here. It's not like exile. It doesn't go away. Anything that's on it stays on it. Again, like counters, enchantments, auras, whatever, equipment. So yeah, those things stay on. And also, this helps you get around certain weird rules. I mean, not weird rules, but like, hey, like Arami the Dead Tide, okay? Like I give you, your creature token versions of that creature, essentially, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, they're going to go at the end of combat, or sorry, at the end of the turn, and this says, no, because I'm going to have them phase out, and then they're technically not there, they don't get sacrificed, and I get to keep them. So you get around certain restrictions with this, but also just it essentially kind of protects your creatures on your opponent's turn in a way. So if you are already attacking with your creatures, they're just gone. They're just like, okay, yeah, hey, peace out. All right, I'm going at the end of combat. Don't worry about me at all. I'm completely fine. And kind of with that as well, on your second main phase, you can definitely take advantage of that and go, yeah, Wrath of God. Yep, okay, my creatures are fine because they're phased out. And then all of your creatures, not fine. They're gone. And then I get my creatures back on the next turn. So essentially, well, yes, it's either a way to use and abuse, amazing effects that give you like creatures temporarily that you now can just keep permanently, or also, again, hey, a way to say, you know what, let's actually control the board. Let's utilize this to keep my creatures where they should be and your creatures out of here. So again, Tofairs Veil, a very janky old card that is also pretty amazing. Okay, next up, Revelation. Now again, this is the type of card where you're like, wait, that's a magic card, like from 1995? My goodness. Yeah, green doing that? What? Okay, here we go. It is a, Revelation is a 1-mana world enchantment because, again, there was a difference back in the day. It is a world enchantment, and it says players play with their hands revealed. This is so incredibly, well, not green. I mean, green is not about, hey, everyone, give me your hands. I must see them. So this is a very off-the-wall enchantment that you might not think is all that good. Again, you are giving away information yourself too, but hey, being able to actually know your opponent's hands, that's pretty huge. And yeah, if they know your hand, it's like, oh, hey, you know what? We're on the same page. You know, you can maybe, finesse that and convince your opponents that it's okay that everyone reveals their hands. Again, if you've got a very straightforward deck where you're not trying to, like, react at instant speed, if you're just like, okay, yeah, cool, yeah, all right, I need to know what you're doing, but you don't know what I'm doing anyways. It's fine. Everyone knows what we're doing. We all are just being very open and honest. We can't, politic and say like, well, hey, I won't, stop you from doing that. I don't have anything. I don't have any good cards. Yeah, this is just a way to say, let's all just be open and honest. Let's play with the cards. And of course, there's ways to take advantage of knowing what your opponents have too. It's a very cool card. Not for every deck out there, obviously, but for the decks that want it, yeah, go check it out. Moving on. Now, this one is one where, again, it is not for every deck out there, but it is super good. I mean, for certain metas, and of course, certain decks out there that can really take advantage of it, it is Betrayal. For a single blue mana, it is an aura, and it says, enchanted creature an opponent controls. I mean, again, I'm doing the Oracle text. Whenever enchanted creature becomes tapped, you draw a card. So here's the thing again. Just inherently throughout the game, creatures are going to get tapped, right? And you are putting this on an opponent's creature. Now, you might just put it on, say, a mana dork, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, do you want that mana? Cool. Tap it. Maybe you put it on their best creature that they want to attack with. Okay, cool. Or maybe their commander has an activated tap ability. Awesome. Or maybe you've got a certain deck of a certain kind of a commander out there that's all about tapping down your opponent's things as well. And now it just becomes, I paid 1 mana to, whenever I tap that thing, all of a sudden I get to draw cards. And I can do that a lot throughout the game. I mean, just naturally the creature is going to become tapped throughout the game. And again, the opponent that has that creature is not incentivized to just lose that creature, essentially, right? It is a creature that they have. So this is either like kind of like encouraging removal on the creature, or also just gain advantage through, well, that creature tapping again and again and again throughout the game, especially again for decks that can actually take advantage of and tap that creature themselves. It's a fantastic, janky old card. But now let's move forward to No Rest for the Wicked, an enchantment for 2 mana. Anyone else got the, Cage the Elephant song stuck in their head now? No? Okay, anyways. When we got this with the Oracle text, sacrifice this enchantment, return to your hand all creature cards in your graveyard that were put there from the battlefield this turn. This card is kind of like board wipe protection meets like Aristocrats just value all in one. You put it down and you say, okay, yeah, opponents, if you want to just wipe the board, that's fine with me, but when my creatures die, I'm just going to sacrifice this and bring them all back to my hand. Or conversely, okay, I'm playing an aristocrat-style strategy or, a sacrifice strategy. I'm going to get a bunch of creatures out. I'm going to sacrifice them for value, and then they're going to go right back to my hand. This is a great way to, again, just keep something on the board early on in the game and then utilize it when you need it. Again, either, again, like kind of like an insurance policy or like, hey, I sacrificed all my own creatures for value. Please come back so I can use them again. A really cool card. Again, just 52 cents. Make sure you pick it up. And I guess I should have mentioned earlier, too, all these cards are in a card list link in the description below. So, yes, pick them up. Next up, my goodness, the potential of Insight. Now, this one is very meta-dependent, I will say, okay? It is very meta-dependent. It is not for the faint of heart to utilize either, okay? Because there are times where it might not do anything for you, but there are times where it will be the most explosive card in the game. It's an enchantment for 3 mana in blue, and it says, well, the Oracle text says, whenever an opponent casts a green spell, you draw a card. Again, this does replace target opponent with, like, any opponent, basically. That's the way it's worded, because originally it's like, hey, an opponent. I don't know why they mentioned target, but yeah, there you go. You don't have to, choose a target when this comes into play, which, again, might explain why it sees less play. That being said, again, If you're not in a meta that utilizes a lot of green decks, yeah, maybe don't use it. But here's the thing. From my experience, with most of the metas that I played in, green is an incredibly popular color because it basically does everything very well, including one of the most powerful things in Commander with ramping. With land ramp, it is the most powerful, so it does tend to see a lot of play. So if opponents are casting spell after spell after spell, it's kind of like, it is not, I'm not going to say it's Rhystic Study, it is not Rhystic Study, but is Rhystic Study adjacent when it is in play and there are green players at the table, because now they don't even have the option to pay the 1. It's just like, oh, are you gonna, wait, no, I can't pay the 1. I just get to draw a card whenever you're casting green spells. So please keep casting the green spells. Give me all the good, just mana, just all the good card advantage, all the good amazingness. Yeah, go ahead and cast your Rampant Growth. Go ahead and get that extra mana. I'm gonna get the cards now. Thank you. Insight is a great card for the right meta, not for the faint of heart though. But if you're brave enough, pick it up. Speaking of being brave, here we go. Dense Foliage. Yeah, this is some crazy, well, card. It's a crazy card, and here we go. Enchantment for 3 mana and green. You gotta be pretty confident in your deck to actually play with this, but it is awesome when it works out. Creatures can't be the targets of spells. Oh my goodness. Being able to just play this down and say basically, okay, Shroud does affect abilities as well, but basically everything's got Shroud. Oh my goodness. Players are just going to go, wait, what did you just do? What did you just made it so that no one can target creatures? My Swords to Plowshares is useless? Are you kidding me? Yeah, making it so that all creatures just can't be touched. You better have the board state to make sure that you can pull this off. But again, if you're in an aggressive creature deck and you're like, you know what? I've got all these creatures, okay? I'm fine with it. I maybe have some board wipes as well. Board wipes are a way to deal with creatures still with this, right? They don't target. But maybe you got some board wipes as backup, right? But you're not really heavy on to like targeted creature removal. You're like, okay, you know what? I'm going to play this down. All of my things are protected. Again, literally every creature on the board is protected. And all of a sudden you're like, okay, cool. Let's go into it. Is it risky? Absolutely. But can decks pull it off? Absolutely. Again, kind of like I mentioned earlier with Familiar Ground, like if you've got like a big creature, like aggressive deck and you're like, you know what? My plan is just like get big things out, swing and hit players. And that's what I'm going to be doing. Making it so that your opponents can't target your creatures is huge. And it's worth just being like, yeah, play your own creatures. I don't care. Whatever. Sure. Okay. Being able to make sure that you have the most dominant creatures on the board and that they're going to stay there, essentially, can be absolutely great. Is it risky? Yes. Is it amazing when it works? Yes, as well. But now let's move on to Orims Prayer, an enchantment for 3 mana in white. If any creatures attack you, gain 1 life for each attacking creature. This card can save you in so many situations. I mean, who's been at a table before? Just raise your hand right now, just wherever you're at. It might be awkward just if you're in public. But yeah, raise your hand if you've been at a table before. And there's a player over there that's playing a token deck, and they've got like 1,000 tokens. Okay, not even 1,000, but like 20 tokens. They're all little 1/1s, and you're like, oh my gosh, the biggest board state ever. You got this in play. You don't care. You're like, oh yeah, little 1/1s. That doesn't matter. Okay, go ahead and swing at me. It doesn't matter. I gain the life and negate that. So this can be a good way to, encourage your opponents, incentivize your opponents who swing at each other instead of just giving you life, essentially. And of course, if you are in a life gain strategy, well, this is amazing. This is just a great way to say, okay, yeah, swing at me. I'll gain some life and I'll use some, again, effects. I'll have some doubling up life effects. I'll have some other effects are like, hey, when you gain life, do this. Or when you gain life, do that. This is a great card. Again, kind of like Pillow 40 in a way, but also life gainy in a way, because that's definitely a word. It can do a lot for you. Make sure you check it out. Next up, though, yeah, here we go. Invasion plans. Now, again, this is not for the faint of heart as well. This is for a, well thought out strategy, number 1, but kind of like Dense Foliage again, not for every deck, and you need to be brave to utilize it. So are you brave enough for this enchantment that says, well, it's 3 mana in red, all creatures block each combat of Fable. Oh my goodness. But on top of that, not you, well, sometimes you, the attacking player chooses how each creature blocks each combat. Oh my goodness. Yes. This is incredible where you're like, okay, hey everyone, you know what? The defender gets to choose absolutely nothing. Nothing is chosen. And all of a sudden, I get to just say, you know what? Let's just sit back and see what happens in combat. Of course, obviously, there's ways that you can take advantage of this. If you have, like, again, first strikey creatures, if you've got double strikey creatures, if you've got death touch creatures, yeah, it's going to be hard pressed for opponents to actually swing at you effectively, so you're going to be able to do that. Or again, if you just have like the biggest creatures on the board. So yeah, being able to utilize that in that fashion, also get through by saying, okay, we have ways to just swing and say, all these creatures block this one creature, and then all the other ones get through. That's a possibility as well. So it can be like a way to like get your creatures through. It is risky as well though, but maybe you've got some fogs, maybe you've got some other synergies, maybe you've got some ways to disincentivize your opponents from attacking you, maybe some other Pillow 40 effects like Ghostly Prison. So it's like, okay, you can attack me, but you got to pay for it in the first place. But yeah, it is a very risky card, but a risk-reward card where the reward can be amazing again. Getting through and also taking out creatures that you want to take out and also having your opponents take out other creatures that they want to take out too. Check it out. Now, I brought this card up on an episode or two in the past, and it is definitely one of the weirdest cards in Magic of all time. And there are definitely a lot of weird cards in Magic. It's an enchantment for 4 mana called Zur's Weirding. It's in blue. Here we go with the Oracle text. It says, players play with their hands revealed. Apparently that's just a thing back then. There's like, hey, everyone's got cards that have players play with their hands revealed. So there you go. That being said, if a player would draw a card, they reveal it instead. Then any other player may pay 2 life. If a player does, put that card into its owner's graveyard. Otherwise, the player draws a card. Yeah, this is spicy, especially in a political format like multiplayer, format like, Commander, where you have 4 players and you'd be like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, does anyone not want that player to have that card? Let's figure out who's going to pay the 2 life, okay? Obviously, this can impact you as well. That being said, number 1, you might really care about your graveyard and might want to get things in your graveyard. You might have a bunch of flashback cards or a bunch of ways to get things out of your graveyard. Or you might have a way around this. If you've got a commander like Tomorrow Azami's Familiar, then you're like, oh, okay, cool. I'm not actually drawing cards. Or maybe you've got a commander that like skips your draw but does something else essentially. And then draws like a mass amount of cards or like gets like 1 out of the top 3. Again, that's not technically drawing. So yeah, this is the type of card where, again, you can make this, even though it's a symmetrical effect, pretty asymmetrical, take more advantage of it, and really control what your opponents are doing, all at the, cost of some life that you can probably get back because this is Commander. And let's be honest, 2 life is absolutely nothing. It is such a strange and weird card that can be so fun, and so functional. Make sure you check it out. Moving on, here is an extremely old card. My goodness, I think this version's from Revised, I believe. My goodness, that is a long time ago. Enchant for 4 mana in green. Let's read the Oracle text because, it's a bit easier to read. Each non-creature artifact loses all abilities and becomes an artifact creature of power and toughness, each equal to its mana value. If this enchantment leaves the battlefield, this effect continues until end of turn. Have you ever wanted to, as the green player, to say, oh, that's cute. All of you are working so hard on your mana rocks. Oh, you're doing so good. Good for you. Oh, look at you over there. With all of your, treasures. That's good for you. Hey, let's turn all of the non-creature artifacts into artifact creatures based on their mana value. And they have no abilities now. So again, your mana rocks don't tap for mana anymore. Oh, your treasures, they're dead. They're gone. They actually went away because, again, they've got a mana value of 0. So you're just shutting down any artifact non-creature tokens, and you're also saying, you know what, again, let's just simplify things, all right? I'm a creature deck. I want to creature things, all right? You've got artifacts. That's fun, but now they're creatures, and they're nothing else. They're just creatures. And, of course, on the other side of things, you could actually build a deck around this where you're like, okay, I'm making a bunch of, giant artifacts out there, all right? Cool. And you're like, okay, let's turn them into creatures and use as a finisher. Could be quite fun. So yeah, it is definitely a card that is multi-purpose and is quite crazy and out there. Make sure you pick it up. Moving on. I mean, this card has to have one of the most metal names of all time. There's got to be a metal band out there that's named this or has a song named this. Death Pits of Wrath. Yeah. All right, enchantment for 5 mana in black. Whenever a creature is dealt damage, destroy it. It can't be regenerated. Again, regeneration, back in 97 was a big deal. Now, not so much, but still, it's nice to have on there just in case you happen to hit something. Sylvus Rogue Elemental comes to mind. One of my favorite cards of all time when I was a kid. Anyways, being able to say, hey, you know what's going to happen? Everything basically has death touch and, no regeneration death touch is really, really, really good because, again, if your strategy is working in certain ways, let's say you've got double strikers, first strikers, any ones that can hit first, all of a sudden your creatures are invincible. Basically, because you could just hit any other creature before they can hit you, so you can take them out. You go with this like death touchy thing. Or, again, if you've got like a pinging approach where it's like, okay, I can do like 1 damage very easily to any creature. Okay, that takes it out. It also really incentivizes you to go wide as well. If you got a bunch of little 1/1s, that's just as good as your opponent's army that's like, oh, I've got a bunch of 10/10s. It's okay, well, the trample? No. Okay, I'll block one of them with my 1/1. Oh no, they're both gone. Yeah, being able to essentially kind of even the board state when it comes to like giant creatures versus small creatures, you can really take advantage of that. It also makes it so that, well, you can kind of like pillow fort up in a way and also make it so you kind of, again, even out the board on people like swinging at each other, because it's like, all right, if you've got a bunch of big creatures and you don't want to lose them by swinging at someone who's got a bunch of small creatures, you're probably not going to make that trade. It is such a really cool card that just changes the entire aspect of the game. And again, you can make it asymmetrical where you can take advantage of it more than your opponents with, again, first strike effects. Have fun with it. And again, cool metal band name. Finally, though, I actually pointed this out on a recent episode, so I'm going to go quickly through it, though. But if you've never seen Elephant Grass, you are missing out. An enchantment for a single green mana, move upkeep of 1, so you got to keep paying to keep it in play, and basically more and more and more. Black creatures can't attack you. Non-black creatures can't attack you unless your controller pays 2 for each creature they control that's attacking you. Again, basically like a mini Ghostly Prison that does even more than Ghostly Prison, because black creatures just can't straight up attack you, which is incredible. But on top of that, yes, you'd have to pay to keep it in play. That being said, there's certain commanders that can take advantage of that, actually like getting it back or whatnot, essentially. Or if it's just like an enchantress strategy, you're like, okay, I play it. It's a cantrip, basically, for me, and all of a sudden, yeah, I might pay to keep it in play, just, a turn longer to, prevent my opponents from attacking me. It is a great card. Make sure you check it out. And again, a card that breaks the color pie in a way where, like, you don't ever see this in green. Let's go super jank, though, with a very old card. Oh, my goodness. Again, I think this one's from Revised, I believe. We've got Nether Shadow. Oh, my gosh. Okay, again, I have to literally read I definitely have to read the Oracle text on this one, because it's like, if Shadow is in graveyard. Like, what? What's Shadow? It doesn't even reference the actual card's name. It's like, if Shadow is in graveyard. What? Okay, this Shadow. Okay, it is a Shadow, I guess. All right. 1/1 Hasty Spirit, no longer a Shadow, for black. At the beginning of your upkeep, this card is in your graveyard with 3 or more creature cards above it. Yeah, that's the thing if you didn't know that. You may put this card on the battlefield. Technically, and I am guilty of this as well, like everyone in Magic is guilty of this that plays Commander, graveyard order technically matters, and you're not allowed to actually move around your cards in your graveyard like switching the order up, even though that is very convenient to do. And like if you've got a bunch of flashback cards, like you're like, yeah, why wouldn't I do this? Like I need to do this. Like it's the only way I can organize things and know what they are. Yeah, technically you're not supposed to, but yeah, you're fine to do it for the most part, right? Except I did build an entire deck around like kind of rules lawyering someone out of that, but that was just a joke deck. Anyways, with this one, don't do it. Like, if you're in your deck, don't reorganize your graveyard, okay? So basically, again, this one is, okay, you get me back for free if more creatures are in the graveyard on top of this card. So it's just a free, repeatable, kind of like reassembling skeleton type card. It does require, obviously, creatures to actually be put in your graveyard, but if you've got like an aristocrat-style strategy where you're sacrificing a lot of creatures, you're going to be able to get like, okay, all right, sacrifice those creatures. All right, they're on top of this, so at the beginning of my upkeep, it just comes into play, and all of a sudden, yeah, I sacrifice it again. Next upkeep, I've sacrificed some other creatures, maybe milled some, whatever it is. Okay, cool, it comes right back into play. It is great creature fodder for you that, like, after you play it the first time, or even if you don't play it the first time, if it's just in your graveyard, you discard it, it can just be a free, repeatable source of creature fodder, which is pretty incredible. There you go. In a somewhat similar vein, we've got Brood of Cockroaches with some disgusting art with a lot of cockroaches on it. Gross! A 1/1, let me just triple check. It is an insect still, not insects anymore, but insect. Here we go, with the Oracle tag. For 2 mana in black, when this creature is put into your graveyard from the battlefield at the beginning of the next end step, you lose 1 life and return this card to your hand. Again, this is creature fodder. It is repeatable. There is a slight downside. Oh no, I lose 1 life. Who cares? It's 1 life. You're in Commander. You've got 40 to lose. You're fine. But yeah, this is basically like a reassembling skeleton. No, not as good. It is not as good as reassembling skeleton, which you can keep getting back out of your graveyard. That being said, there are sometimes some benefits from actually casting it from your hand. Maybe you've got like a cost reducer or like, hey, when you cast a creature, you get this. Sure. That being said, yeah, just being able to get a repeatable source of creature fodder again on the cheap is quite nice. So yeah, make sure you check this one out. But now we've got a real gem with one of my favorite cards of all time. Over the years, this one has just like come in handy in certain decks, and it's like, yeah, you're pretty awesome, mischievous poulter, guys. Here we go. It's a 1/1. They got rid of Ghost. Now it's just a spirit. With flying for 3 mana in black, pay 1 life, regenerate this creature. So this is a creature that can just stick on the board. It is really hard to deal with because you basically are always going to have access to your life, right? Unless you're down to 1. You're like, I can't regenerate you. I'm sorry, poltergeist. It's okay. Anyways, yeah, basically being able to keep this on the board. It's a great blocker for you, which is nice. But of course, you don't just throw it into a deck just to block, right? I mean, cool, it's a flyer that can regenerate. That's fine. But what you do with this is say, oh, I don't know, utilize it with a commander that you can utilize, say, like a life swap type strategy, or like a strategy where you actually want to go down in life total, like a certain, I don't know, Rakdos commander that can then tap to give you, you know, basically reduction based on the amount of life that you lost. Maybe something like that. Or maybe like a new Abzan commander that's like a dragon that says like, hey, you lost a bunch of life. Cool. Reanimate something. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, those types of commanders, obviously. Or like Selenia Dark Angel, which is like, hey, again, let's get our life total down to nothing and then let's life swap. This is a really cool card for the right deck out there. It is super unique. It is super amazing. And yeah, just a really sweet card. Pick it up. What about saying your autocrat, though, from Homelands? My goodness. I think 1995? Oh, my goodness. A 2/2 autocrat. No, that's no longer a creature type. A 2/2 human. There we go. For 4 mana in black, when this creature enters, create 3/0/1 black surf creature tokens. When this creature leaves the battlefield, exile all surf tokens. Ironically, this is kind of funny that if your opponents have surf tokens, then it gets rid of theirs too. Which is not going to happen most likely, but it's like, oh, wait, you've got autocrat too. Okay, all right, let's see what happens. This is one where, okay, when it comes to like a go wide type strategy, when it comes to like an aristocrat style strategy, the more creatures for the less amount of mana, the better. And this is an incredibly efficient card when it comes to that. This is 4 mana for 4 creatures. You typically don't see that kind of efficiency. Usually it's like, okay, like 4 for 3 or whatnot. But yeah, this is 4 mana, 4 creatures, which is awesome. Now, for some strategies, this might not work all that well because, again, like, it's kind of like, if you went for, like, a go-wide strategy, let's say, I'm like, okay, I've pumped my army, and then, like, someone just, like, uses, like, a removal spell and, like, just this, then you lose the surfs, too. That's usually not where this is going to be used, obviously. This is more so a card where, okay, I've got an aristocrat-style strategy, I've got a free sacrifice out like a Viserys here, and I want these creatures to be sacrificed. I get them in play, they're great creature fodder, and I just sacrifice 1 creature at a time, starting with these surf tokens. Do not start with the autocrat, because if you start with the autocrat, then it's going to exile the surf tokens, and then you don't get those. So yes, this is 4 mana, 4 creatures, which is pretty incredible. Make sure you pick it up for your deck. Let's move forward now to 1997, though, with Dingus Staff. Yeah, this card is super cool, and yeah, some really awesome art on it, too. And to me, anyone else in the background, does that look like Gecko Moria from One Piece? Anyone? No, like the face in the background? Anyways, really creepy. Artifact for 4. Whenever a creature dies, this artifact deals 2 damage to that creature's controller. Here's the thing. Are you in a creature-heavy deck like Go Wide strategy? Don't use this, okay? But are you not? Are you in a control-type strategy? Are you in a strategy that's going to force your opponents to sacrifice a bunch of creatures, maybe? Are you in that type of strategy? Oh my gosh. Having this in play and being like, all right, everyone, I mean, this affects me too. Okay, don't worry about it, but here's what's going to happen. Creatures die. They give you boo-boos. So yeah, all of a sudden you're like, okay, yeah, Wrath of God. Oh, go wide strategy, token generator over there. You had what? 20 tokens in play? Okay, you're gone. Goodbye. Yeah, basically, again, it is a great finisher for you. It's also a great way at a certain point to kind of, like, slow someone down in a way, because if they're, like, over-committing to the board, they're like, oh, I've got all my tokens in play, but, oh my goodness, I can't play this other spell. It's going to give me even more tokens, because if I do, then if a wrath happens, then I'm gone. So, yeah, it is kind of a push and pull type card like that, but, yeah, just literally just like, okay, in a control strategy, it's like, okay, it's in play. I've got some edict effects. I've got some wrath effects. Get ready for all of you to get taken out. Moving up one more year to 1998, we've got Umbilicus from Urza's Saga, an artifact for 4. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, the player may pay 2 life. If they don't, return a permanent they control to its owner's hand. They return it. They get to choose that. So here's the thing with this one. This is a card that's definitely not for every kind of strategy, right? Like, there are certain strategies out there that don't want to return cards back to their hand. So it's like, you wouldn't play this if you have that, because you're like, oh, darn, I guess I lose 2 life. Oh, wow, that was fun. No, this is a card where if you've got certain things that you want to utilize again, like, say, an ETB or an LTB, lose the battlefield trigger, yeah, this is a great way to facilitate that and do that, because you get to keep getting that back again and again and again, especially if you've got a commander that actually, you know, you build around the ETB or LTB, then cool, this is a great way to do that. It also can negatively impact your opponents, of course, by either forcing them to lose life or lose out on their resources too. So yeah, again, not for every deck, but for decks out there that want it, they really want it. And actually it was, I believe this has got to be before Blood Clock, right? Blood Clock is literally the exact same thing as this. So if you want a second one, go for that one too. So I did look it up, and Blood Clock is from Saviors of Kamigawa, so yes, I was correct. Anyways, we have Scapegoat, an incredible card. This card is so much fun. Instant speed for a single white mana. As initial cost to cast a spell, sacrifice a creature. Return any number of target creatures you control to their owner's hand. Yeah, really weird old card where it's like you target your own creature. So, like, I guess if you've got Shroud on your creature, you're like, oh no, I've got Lightning Greaves on my creature and I can't do it. Oh no. I guess in that case, you would, like, sacrifice the Shrouded creature. That being said, this is a card that is a 1 mana get out of jail free card for your entire team. Yeah, okay, I do say get out of jail free. There is a cost to it. You have to sacrifice a creature. That being said, if someone's wrathing the board, you're like, yeah, I'm willing to lose 1 creature to get back 6 other creatures. Yeah, that's probably worth it for the 1 mana, right? Here's the thing also, of course, there are certain strategies that actually want to sacrifice creatures. Again, aristocrat style strategy, cool. I sacrifice a creature, great. I also get to bring back into my hand the things that have ETBs that I want to utilize, or again, LTBs. Again, a 1 mana get out of jail free card that is huge. And of course, again, in certain strategies where you're just like, okay, I've got like a lot of low to the ground creatures that have amazing ETBs, or like, you know, a 0 cost deck where I'm like, okay, sacrifice 1 thing, bring back all these 0 cost artifact creatures in my hand, replay them for free and get all these triggers. You can do some crazy things with this one. On a much smaller scale, we've got Curfew, an instant for a single blue mana. Each player returns a creature they control back to its owner's hand. When it comes to a bounce effect, typically, and I do say typically, those cost like, multiple mana to actually bounce multiple things. I mean, I'm thinking about like, yeah, hey, like 2 mana, bounce 2 things controlled by different players. That's something. That being said, you don't get to target what you want with this, but you are removing 1 thing for each player. And also, you are getting 1 of your creatures back. So again, this can be like a save 1 of my creatures thing. This can be like a, hey, you know what, actually, I've got an ETB that I want to use again thing. You can actually, again, utilize that bounce effect to your own benefit, while also, again, for a single mana, removing 1 creature that each of your opponents has. So yeah, it's a very cool card. Make sure you check it out. Next up, a card that makes me think, what in the world is going on in that art? Like, is that like a different dimension energy coming out and being like, whoa, I'm energized by weird mystical energy? I don't know. Anyways, it's cool though. Instant for 2 mana. We've got Energy Arc and Azorius. It says, untap any number of target creatures. Prevent all combat damage to be dealt to and dealt by those creatures this turn. This is such a weird old card that's like, yeah, you might be like, what in the world am I going to use that for? Here's the thing. It's incredibly flexible, actually. Number 1, it is, well, you can actually use it politically if you really want to. Number 1, it is a fog card. You can use it as a fog. If someone is swinging at you like, ha ha ha, I swing out and I will take you out, ha ha ha, and they talk like that, and you're like, well, that's annoying. But let's stop you from doing that. So untap your team and they don't hit me. Cool. Awesome. Glad we decided that. That being said, it's also kind of like a pseudo vigilance card where you like can untap your own team whenever you need to. And also, of course, when it comes to a deck that can utilize, well, let's say just mana dorks even, okay, cool, free mana from that. Or a deck that utilizes, again, say a commander or a strategy where you have a bunch of tap effects. This is incredible. It's like untap your entire team out of nowhere for 2 mana. And again, like I said, it can be political too, where it's like, hey, do you all want to untap your creatures? What kind of a deal can we make here, all right? So that person's swinging at you, you know, whatever. I can stop them from hitting you, but also I can untap your creature, so maybe you can get, like, extra mana for your mana dorks in the second main phase or something like that. So again, it is a card that is super, super flexible, super fun, and super great in the right deck. Speaking of that, I just want to make sure everyone's getting this message out here. So is this mic on? Here we go. Yeah. Play more basic lands. Stop cutting all the basic lands from your deck. Basics are incredible. Basics are amazing. I love basics. And yes, even a 5-color deck should have a ton of basics. My Joda deck has like, let's see, 3 of each kind except for forest, which I think there's like 9. So 12, like 21 basics in a 5-color deck, okay? You can do it. You don't need to utilize all non-basics. And here's the thing. Early Harvest is an incredible card when it comes to a basic land type deck. Instant for 3 mana in green. Target player untaps all basic lands they control. Again, like, targeting is just so funny because, like, back in the day, I feel like they had more targeting. And it's like, all right, do I really need to say that, like, I get to do that? Yes, I know you can redirect and whatnot, sure, but all right. Outside of that, which are rare cards to see for the most part, yeah, I just target myself. Anyways, being able to untap all your basics is massive for a 3-mana investment. That's not much. Again, if you've got like 10 lands in play, it's like, okay, I tap my 10 lands, I float the mana, I cast this, I untap all 10 of my lands. Cool, I just got like 17 mana in a turn. Great, big blowout effect. Or again, if an opponent like thinks like, okay, I can sneak past this player, all right, and you're like, no, by the way, I've got more mana than you thought I had. Yeah. This is also just a really cool card when in the right deck, the right strategy. I used to have this in my Golos deck before Golos got banned. But yeah, being able to just freely cast this and then untap all your basics, play more basics, utilize an amazing card like this. It's basically a mass ritual effect too. Or again, if you've got like enchanted lands, then yeah, that can be even better, even bigger. Check out Early Harvest. Moving on, how about NecroLoi? Yeah, named after, I'm sure, Necropotence, but this is definitely a very cool version of it that no one seems to really care about all that much, even though it's awesome. Come on. I mean, the art is pretty sick on it, too. More or less like, yes, there's a corpse here. I don't know why I'm touching the head of it while it's dead. I have no idea. Anyways, instant for 5 mana in black. Some lore mage is going to tell me out there, like, what's going on with this. Anyways, cast this spell only during your end step. As additional cost to cast this spell, pay X life, draw X cards. Here's the thing. Life is like candy in Commander, right? It's just like, oh yeah, just candy on like Halloween, I guess. It's like candy's everywhere, okay? You're able to just say, I don't care about the amount of life I have, right? I'm in Commander. I've got 40 life. I can use whatever I want with it, all right? I'll use 20 of it right now all of a sudden and just draw an absurd amount of cards. Yes, it has to be on your end step. Unless you've got, no maximum hand size, you are going back down to 7. That being said, let's say that you had a 7, card hand, all right, before you cast this. You cast it, you're down to 6 cards. All right, you say, okay, I'll lose 20 life. I now have 26 cards in my hand. You better believe I'm able to make the best hand possible with 7 of those cards to set myself up to win the game with that. It's kind of like a mini tutor in a way that gives you so many good cards. Or again, for a life game strategy, you can do even more than that, where you're basically like, yeah, basically my entire deck, sure, why not? Of course, there are ways to negate that life loss as well, like things like, what is it? Not Children of Corliss. Yeah, Children of Corliss kind of thing, where it's like, okay, like, I gain back up to life I lost this turn. Things like that. You can do some crazy things with this card. It's just a great big burst of draw. And again, even if you're not going way over the top, right? If you just want to go instant speed, 5 mana, draw 5 cards, lose 5 life, that's still reasonable, right? So it's an amazingly flexible, awesome card that you need to pick up right now. Moving on to this Exodus gem, though, with Fade Away. Now, this is a card that you need right now. It is such a good card, and one that, like, your opponents are going to be like, wait, what did you just... What did you just catch? What is that? What is going on there? Why is there a magician under a bridge with some goblins and some soldiers? I am so confused. Sorcery for 3 mana in blue. For each creature, that creature's controller pays 1 or sacrifice a permanent. In layman's terms, basically, yeah, it's kind of like the exact same thing. Like, basically what you're going to be doing is saying, hey, everyone, you either pay up or you're sacrificing a permanent for every creature you got. This is a massive play for you. Again, basically a 3 mana board wipe. It is conditional. That being said, it is one that you can, of course, take advantage of. Know that it's coming, of course, and yeah, act accordingly. You might have things that you actually want to sacrifice so you can get value from, so yeah, that's going to be great. Or again, you've got mana ready so that you can actually keep your creatures around, or you don't even have creatures in play. This is a great kind of gotcha card against your opponents where it's like they're tapped out. They're like, well, this is going to go great. And they're like, oh, okay, you lose basically all your things. And they're like, oh, that's terrible. And again, just 3 mana for sacrifice again makes it so that, yeah, this can get around indestructible as well. Now, obviously, they can sacrifice other permanents, but you're still getting rid of so many things. Such a great card. Very unique in blue as well. Pick it up now. But now we've got Recall. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this card is Well, something that you really never see in blue. This is a card that says, I break the color by just a little bit. It's a sorcery for XX in a blue. Discard X cards and return a card from your grave to your hand. For each card discard this way, exile it. This is a card that says, you know what, usually blue when it comes to recursion, you get like instant sorceries, that's pretty much it. This says, no, whatever you want. That being said, obviously there's a cost to it. You have to get rid of cards to get cards back. It's kind of like a worse version of Wildest Dreams, but again, in blue, you don't have access to those, regrowth type effects that green does, really. So this is a great way to get back your best cards out of your graveyard at a decent cost. And again, just say, you know what, I don't care about this card in my hand or that card in my hand, or maybe I've got cards in my hand I actually want to get into my graveyard. It is a really good recursion spell for decks that don't have access to a lot of good recursion spells. If you got access to green, utilize the green ones. But if you don't have green, yeah, it's a great option for you. Oh my goodness. Next up though, Soul Exchange. Yeah, again, some metal art right here. A sorcery for black that says, as additional cost to cast this spell, exile a creature you control. Or I should say the Oracle text says. Return target creature card from your grave to the battlefield. Put a +2/+2 counter. That's right, you heard me right. A +2/+2 counter on that creature if the exile creature was a Thrall. Here's the thing. It's not going to be a Thrall unless you private changeling, in the deck. But yeah, it's not going to be a Thrall. That being said, just the fact that there's a +2/+2 counter is pretty hilarious. I'm pretty sure there's also like a -2/-1 counter somewhere too in Magic. But yeah, there's some weird old counters back in the day before they like simplified it to like -1/-1/++1. Anyways, this is a 2-mana reanimate whatever you want card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It does cost, again, exiling one of your creatures. That being said, how many decks out there are like, I make so many little tokens, this is great, cool, yeah, whatever, I sacrifice them, doesn't matter, okay, cool. Yeah, pay 2 mana, get the best creature out of your graveyard back into play. When it comes to recursion spells, when it comes to reanimation spells typically cost 4, right? When it comes to actually doing so. So yeah, with this one, it's just like, oh no, it's just 2, which is amazing and awesome. And yeah, there's a small downside, but again, like for certain decks out there, they don't care. It's like, yeah, got a bunch of creature fodder, who cares? I'll get back one of my key pieces right into play, pick it up. Finally, though, we've got one of my favorite cards for my Feldergriff deck, Theft of Dreams. A sorcery for 3 mana. Draw a card for each tapped creature target opponent controls. I don't think you understand the potential of this card and how many cards it can draw you. This card has drawn me 10 plus cards so many times for my Feldergriff deck. I mean, okay, this is not for every single type of deck out there, though. That being said, how many times are you just like looking across the table and like someone just swung out again with a bunch of tokens or a go-ahead strategy? It's like, oh yeah, they got like 6 creatures tapped. Okay, cool. Pay 3 mana, draw 6. Yes, please. And again, with Feldergriff, it's like pay 3 mana, draw 10 plus because you're making creatures for people, you're forcing them to attack. Or if you've got a deck that maybe taps down creatures, you can guarantee that you're going to be able to get that then too. And if you like this card, which you should, also consider picking up Borrowing 100,000 Arrows, which again, for some reason, Wizards was like 2 years later in Portal 3 Kingdoms, like, you know what? Let's just redo that card, but name it really weird. So yeah, there you go. Theft of Dreams, pick it up now. And with that, this episode is coming to a close. Comment below with your thoughts on it. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.